Hi guys, this is Guru from Tekken5.com, and today we're looking at the software of the Nokia N9. We did a hardware review and unboxing video as well, and I'll give a link in the descriptions below so you can have a look at that before we go into MeeGo. So let's get to it. So as you can see here, this is the new, well, I would say it's a new interface from Nokia, the N9. It's called MeeGo, and it's basically quite different from the Symbian which I have. Now, unfortunately, this is the first and last phone that Nokia will be making with this MeeGo series, just because they're migrating over to the Windows Phone platform. And if you are interested in this body over here, you can get it in the Nokia Lumia 800 form in the future as well, and it will be running Windows Phone. So let's have a quick look at the interface here. Now what you'll notice is that this is a menu here, but what it actually is the home screen. There is no other, I suppose, home menu. There's no button to press home or anything. This is what it is when you start up the screen, so I'll give you a quick look. Before we go, what you'll notice is that the screen actually never turns off. You will have the number over here, and it will always come up until, of course, you cover the sensor. When it goes in your pocket, then it'll turn off. But what you get here is what you see. Basically, the number moves around the screen, and to some people it might be a little annoying that, you know, the light never turns off. I actually quite like it. It means I can see the time on my phone without having to ever, you know, turn it on. As you saw, it just moved down again from here to here. The reason for that is to avoid screen burnout, or screen burning, I suppose, so it doesn't get burnt into the screen, because it is an AMOLED screen after all. So to turn it on, you either press the power button over here, or you just double tap the screen, and this is what you'll basically get, right? It's the main screen. Let's say it again. So you'll get the name, the date down here, along with the time, and just the details at the top as well. And this is the home screen. There is no, well, let's go back to that actually. To unlock, you either slide left or right, or up and down. So that's basically how the whole phone works. Anything you gotta do to get to the next screen, you swipe to the left or right. You can do it straight from the middle of the screen, or you can actually swipe down or up. So let's open up a program, so say the phone. To get back to the menu screen, you just swipe to the left. And you swipe to the right to get to your recently opened programs. And you just click on it, go back into it. To permanently close it, you just swipe down, and it goes back to nothing is open. So that's just basically how it works. On the other side, there's also a screen where you can have the weather. I'll just refresh that. Close that. You have the weather over there, as long as your Facebook and Twitter feeds, depending on which contacts account you link to the phone. So as you can see, it is a little laggy when you update it. It's not the fastest, it doesn't pull it in, and it just disappears from the bottom, and you're wondering what's happening. Not the best on that. What I do like about it, it sort of takes from Android and iOS, which would be Apple's operating system in this case, basically with all the home menu here and the swiping up and down, as well as Windows Phone with the left and right swiping. So it's quite heavily invested in all three of them here. Now what you'll see about this here is all the different functions will come in different icons over here, just like the iPhone, except it'll be one screen just like the Android there. And basically you can download more apps as well. Unfortunately, there isn't that many apps. None of the apps we wanted to find, which we use on our other phones, you would find on this. But let's have a quick look closer. So, say we go into messaging. When you open the messaging tab, you can get messages from Skype, you can get messages from Facebook, also get messages from your SMS all in one. Let's go back into messaging. That's the problem with this actually. And these are test numbers, voicemail and so on and so forth, international numbers as well. You can go into a text message here, so you click the icon at the bottom, and you basically, let me just focus this a little bit more. Okay, perfect. You basically just, you know, tap the button down there and you go into it. Now, the keyboard is interesting here. It doesn't let me do landscape in all the different programs here, but it does let you here. What I like about the keyboard here is that it's a simple QWERTY keyboard. You know, we're all used to it here. When you tap, I don't know if you can hear, but there's actually a haptic feedback with each one you click. I do like that. It can get a little annoying at times, but you can always turn it off. But it just lets you realize that you're actually pressing a button. Now, as for keyboard sensitivity and how accurate it is, I found it a little frustrating in this view here. So if I were to type in, let's say, welcome to Tekken 5 here. Now, if this was a Windows phone or an Apple phone, I'd be able to type that extremely quickly, extremely accurately. It's not like I'm used to this phone or anything. The keyboard should be sensitive and just as good to use as anyone. Now, unfortunately, it's not that great on this one, so we'll get out of that one. Go here, and obviously I showed you the contacts before. The contacts you can type in, you can put in your Skype contacts, your Facebook contacts, and they're all integrated. Twitter contacts I don't believe are integrated, but that's alright, and you can sort them out by availability and so on and so forth. Calendar as well, you get the simple standard calendar right there. You swipe to get out of it. Alarm system here, not that great. You can choose, you know, what time to set the alarm, etc. What else do we have? Web browser. Not the fastest, and if we say type in, nope, can't even type that in properly. Techinfo.com. It's connected to 3G right now, as you'll see, and that's something I'll get into in a minute. It's quite slow, the internet browser, compared to any other browser from any platform right now. It takes a long time to load, and probably nearly double the time it takes on any other Android or Windows phone or even Apple. No flash, as you can see here, but obviously that's expected. So we close that, get out of that, go back to the home screen. Standard camera features on this, I quite like the camera. So there is no designated camera button, but if you just tap to take a picture there. So to get back to your picture, all you have to do is click that and you're there. What I do like about it is that the autofix feature, where's the autofix? Edit, there you go. So as you can see, I've clicked edit already and the phone's a little slow to respond. I don't know if that's because just 1 GHz is just not fast enough, or MeeGo is just like that. There's quite a few options you actually get in here, which is quite good to use. Autofix, there's some nice effects as well, so you can see the difference between autofix and not. It looks much brighter. Colors on the camera come out quite crisp. It's not as good as the Nokia N8, which is the current best camera phone on the market, but it does quite well. I believe this will be the exact same camera that goes into the Nokia Lumia 800 as well, except it'll be a single flash, not a dual flash on that one. So let's get out of that. All as well, you get the standard Nokia Maps, Nokia Drive, OV Musics, and a bunch of other Nokia inbuilt stuff as well, like the store videos and stuff. Let's just quickly go into the music just to give you a better idea. So that's how it is. I put in a few songs. Oh, actually, yeah, there you go. So all the artist albums come up like that. You can scroll through them how you want. So if you want to click Cascade, and the volume is a little low right now. So that, yeah, as you can see at the top, that's how you know you're changing the volume. Quite good. To swipe to the next one, you can't swipe. It obviously closes it. And it continues playing. You go back into it, you have to press next. I do like swiping quite a bit, because I'm used to that on the Windows phone, but that's just how it's built here. As well, I'd like to show you Drive. but unfortunately we're not in a car right now, and I'm connected to 3G as well, and it's a little slow on that, but it does work quite well. And you've also got the inbuilt RSS feeds, come straight out of the box with it. Obviously I've connected to Tekken 5 here. You can see all the different features. It updates quite nicely, and you can see up here in the corner that tells you that the phone is actually updating something, so you can get into that. And there you go, connects to the latest post on Tekken5.com. Documents as well, is just opening Word documents and stuff. I haven't had a chance to test this out yet, but from what I've read online, it works fairly well. Skype is already in here. I like it. The only problem being that for some strange reason, when you turn the webcam on here, there's no video chat on Skype, which is quite disappointing for anyone that wanted it there. As well as YouTube, it's the standard mobile YouTube. There's no actual app. So m.youtube.com goes to the internet. Disappointing on that front, but oh well. And all these games come as well with it, you know, Angry Birds, Real Golf, GOF2 and Need for Speed Shift. The graphics on this game are quite good, so we'll have a quick look at Need for Speed. So let's get on to that. Game from EA, obviously. Load times are okay, I suppose. So let's go a quick check of the race. Yep. Continue in Chicago. Yes. I don't know how clearly you can see this on the camera right now, but as you can see, loading times are okay. They're not the best, but graphics, as you can see here, are decent. And obviously it's a whole steer to motion thing. Have a quick look at it. So as you can see, nice and sensitive. You press the screen to brake, and so on and so forth. Now the problem being with some of these things, like for instance Angry Birds, if we go into Angry Birds right here, now I already mentioned that to get to the next screen you swipe side to side. In Angry Birds itself, I like to pinch the zoom to get out to view my bird. The problem being that sometimes you might pinch the zoom like that and end up taking it to the next screen, which gets you out of the game, and there's no way to get back into it because it doesn't actually save it. So quite a bad, I suppose, fault in the design of MeeGo. Another thing to note is there's no landscape mode anyway, or even upside down mode. It's one way. So I don't know what else I can show you guys right now. Accounts, I'd go into that, but I've got my details in there, so I don't want anyone looking at that, unfortunately. Notes as well, standard notes, can't expect much, you know, you type it in as well. Email notification in this is quite good. If you were to get a notification, you would actually get it right here. When you tap the screen, it'll be at the bottom. All you gotta do is click it, slide to the side, and it'll go straight into it. So that's the good look at the first MeeGo phone, and like I said, unfortunately it will be the last MeeGo phone as well. If there's any faults in it, I would like to say is that the lack of any physical or touch capacitive buttons at the front is a little annoying, and the swipe feature should really be locked out in games, but it doesn't let you lock it out, and you can exit your games and certain programs just by swiping, you know, when you pinch the zoom. As well as if you were to go into settings, I'm currently connected to the Telstra 3G here, but the weird thing is that unlike normal phones where it would swap between Wi-Fi and your 3G connection, if you were to leave the house, it would connect onto your 3G, but as soon as you come into the house, it would stay on 3G and wouldn't change back to the wireless, and you'd have to manually set it again. The password would still be saved, but you still have to manually go back and change it, and it's really frustrating. As for the store, as you know, it is the first and last MeeGo phone, so developer activity hasn't been that great on it. you will literally find very little applications which you want to download on this. I'm not a fan of many of them, and there's no real good ones here which I would like to use. I mean, sure, there are a few out there which you can use if you do get this, but do be aware that you're not going to be getting any big apps. No WhatsApp, no Shazam, none of those big apps like that, unfortunately. Video playback on this is quite good as well. I've got a few episodes of Castle there. One of the annoying things, as you'll see up here, is there's a sensor. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but the problem being that it changes very quickly. Now, that's another thing, we'll get back to that, but the sensor is very quick to change, and there's no way to disable the sensor, unfortunately, on this, and that's quite annoying. But here you can see, if I tap top over there, it brings out a menu, sort of like an Android style. You can change your profile, your volume, and you can connect to which ones, and it shows you where you're online. So if you were to go here, I can say online on Skype and Facebook as well as location. So it's quite good. So if I was to sum up MeeGo, it's a really nice looking system, and I really want to start liking this system, and there's so much there which I do like, but unfortunately there is quite a bit here that is hampering the overall system and is taking it back, you know, sort of like bringing it down. I've given you a few problems during the video as well already, and I believe it came out a year or two late, unfortunately, for the market. They should have stopped Symbian a long time ago and got onto this, because it's really nice to look at, really easy to use as well, but it's a year too late to the game, and it's probably a good thing that Windows Phone will be Nokia's premier operating system of use from now on. So that's it from me. My name is Jubin Gruel from Tekken5.com. Be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe as well if you like this video. Thanks for watching.